She didn't knock, she just stood there in full uniform, her eyes glistening in the evening light. Behind her, two more women in dress blues waited silently, their faces sullen yet kind. And before the single dad janitor could even ask why three soldiers were standing on his porch, one of them said softly, "Sir, this house belonged to our commanding officer. And we believe you were meant to find it." Now, before we dive into this powerful story of fate, service, and second chances, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because what happens next will remind you that sometimes, life sends people exactly when you need them most. Ethan Cole never imagined his life would circle back to the army, not after what happened years ago. He was just a janitor now, working nights at the local high school and raising his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Every mop stroke, every echo in the hallway, reminded him that his life had once been filled with purpose until the war took his best friend, and with him, Ethan's will to keep serving. He'd saved every penny since leaving the service. He didn't need much, just a safe roof for Lily, somewhere quiet where nightmares could fade. When a small, rundown house went up for sale outside Fort Denver, he bought it without a second thought. The realtor called it an old army property, once used to house officers during the Cold War. It was barely standing, peeling paint, broken shutters, but to Ethan, it felt like a new start. The first night they slept there, Lily whispered, "Daddy, it smells like old soldiers." Ethan chuckled softly, brushing her hair back. "Maybe it's just history, sweetheart." But as the weeks went on, strange little things began happening: letters tucked behind walls, faded photographs in drawers, and a name scratched into the floorboards near the old fireplace, Lieutenant Colonel Marissa Vaughn. He didn't think much of it at first. Until the day three women arrived at his door. They were soldiers, decorated officers, judging by their insignia. The eldest, Captain Riley Hart, spoke first. "Sir, we're sorry to intrude, but this house, it used to belong to our commander. She was killed overseas 6 years ago. We've been searching for her personal effects ever since." Ethan blinked, unsure. "Marissa Vaughn?" The woman nodded, eyes widening. "Yes. You found something of hers, didn't you?" Ethan led them inside and showed the box he'd found hidden in the attic, a small chest containing medals, letters, and an old locket with a picture of a young woman holding a baby. One of the soldiers covered her mouth as tears welled up. "That baby, that's me." What followed over the next few hours changed Ethan's life. The women told him stories of Lieutenant Colonel Vaughn, the woman who had been their mentor, their protector, and in many ways, their family. She'd bought the house decades ago, calling it her base of peace. After she was killed, the property was abandoned and forgotten, until Ethan moved in. When they asked why he'd bought it, Ethan hesitated, staring at the wooden floor. "I lost someone too. I guess. I wanted a place where I could feel close to something good again." The youngest soldier, Sergeant Lin Tran, said softly, "Maybe you were meant to keep her memory alive." From that day forward, they began helping him fix the place, painting walls, repairing fences, planting a small garden where Lily could play. And as they worked, they talked about loss, about courage, about the kind of quiet strength that keeps people going when everything else falls apart. One night, as they sat around the backyard fire pit, Captain Hart turned to Ethan. "You know, Lieutenant Colonel Vaughn always said, healing doesn't come from forgetting, it comes from serving again." Ethan stared into the flames, the words stirring something deep inside him. The next week, he walked into the local veterans center and asked if they needed volunteers. They did, and soon, he was helping other vets find housing, work, and hope. The same way those three women had helped him, Lily noticed it first. "Daddy, you smile more now." He looked at her, heart full. "Yeah, sweetheart. I guess I finally found my way back." Months later, as the seasons changed and the garden bloomed, the three women returned one last time, with a folded flag and a small plaque. They mounted it on the front porch. It read, "Home of Lieutenant Colonel Marissa Vaughn, her legacy lives on in every act of kindness." Ethan stood silently, tears rolling down his cheeks. "She built this house for strength," he said. "Now it's giving it back." Closing hook, emotional reflection, and maybe that's the real story here: how one man's broken past, one child's innocent hope, and three soldiers' promise came together to rebuild not just a house, but a life.so. If you're watching this right now, don't give up on your story. Sometimes, healing begins in the most unexpected places. Speech balloon, tell us in the comments, what does home mean to you? Thumbs up, like this video if you believe kindness can change a life. Bell, subscribe for more stories that restore faith in humanity, because sometimes, the smallest act of courage is just opening the door when fate comes knocking.